This is the plaintiff, Tamika Parson. She says the defendant's a sneaky real estate broker who promised her he would get her bad credit wiped out so she could purchase a house, and all he did was end up stealing her money. That's right. He pretended to help her, but all he really did was steal $4,914 from her, and she's not about to let him get away with it. So she's suing. This is the defendant, Ray Knight. He says he did try to help the plaintiff and her mother purchase a house, but unfortunately, once they got the $4,000 deposit in, the mother passed away. Now the parameters of the deal have changed because they were using the mother's credit rating with a bank. Now that she's gone, the plaintiff's bad credit history was discovered. Oh, he's sorry, but if anyone's owed money today, it's him, not the plaintiff. He's accused of trying to pull a fast one. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for unpaid rent.
All parties, please use your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Tamika Parson, you're suing Ray Knight and his company. You've asked us not to mention the company name for $4,914 that you say they owe you and won't repay. You're counterclaiming for rent. Tell me what's going on.
I met Ray, and he decided he was going to show me a house that would be good for me and my mom. And he decided that we were going to...
How did you meet Ray?
I met him through an ex.
Okay.
And
how long had you known him before this business negotiation?
Actually, I met him on a business negotiation.
What
so
kind
I
of
didn't know him at all. My ex had took me over there to ask him about finding a house.
Oh, that was the
us.
purpose of the meeting. Okay,
right.
So go ahead.
So after
what do you do for a living, Mr. Knight?
I'm a real estate broker.
You're a broker. Are you a licensed broker?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you have your own firm? Do you have your own, or you work for somebody?
I have my own company.
Okay, so go ahead.
So after we went over and we met with him, probably a day or two later, he ended up showing us a house. And the ex didn't want the house, but I liked the house. So after that, we left, and he was like, come over, we'll discuss it. So when I went over to discuss it, he was like, well, this house is going to be going...
How much did he say the house was going to be sold for?
$120.
Okay, so go ahead.
So after that, I went over to his house, and we started discussing it. And I was like, well, my credit isn't that good. And he was like, no, I pulled your credit report, and it's not that bad. I could get it cleaned up.
How?
Well, that I didn't know at the time, but after I found out, he had me call it in to the police department as fraud. And
When it wasn't?
And I have the
Wait, stop. He had you
Yes.
call it into the police department as fraud.
Yes.
Yeah, what part of that didn't have your light bulb go off? So you actually called it into the Rochester Police Department and said it was fraud when it wasn't?
Yeah.
So you filed a false police report, which happens to be a crime.
Court to him.
Why are you pointing at him? He
Because
told you
he
do
was
this,
the broker.
and you both thought it would be a... What does that have to do with anything? You know that that's bad on both of you, not just him. So you literally called the Rochester Police Department and filed several reports saying that all of these
debts that he had
that someone
highlighted.
was using your identity and getting Time Warner service when it wasn't you.
Right.
And you also called to say someone was using your identity on what other services?
Whatever was on there.
Whatever was on your
Well,
credit.
it was,
and all of it was a lie. Every police report you filed was... How many police reports did you file with the Rochester Police Department that were lies?
I filed the one police report that had 3 to 4 items listed.
Wow. Did you tell her to do that?
No, ma'am.
What kind of broker are you?
That is not true.
The plaintiff says the defendant, a real estate broker, claimed he would get her bad credit wiped out, and all he did was steal her money. The defendant says he's actually the one who owed money. Let's listen.
What happened is when we went over the credit report, I explained to her, I said, what are these items and what can we do to resolve them? She told me that she did not know any of what was on the credit report, and I said, well, if that's the case, then we need to file a police report saying it was fraud. Now, if you can't recognize these items, let's go fill out...
Maybe she doesn't recognize it because she doesn't care about debt.
Well, if she lying.
So she says the words, I don't know what these are.
And I told her, then if you don't know, then it's fraud. Fill out a police report. If they were hers, we will negotiate the debt. There was.
Why are you getting involved in any of that? Because you desperately want to sell this house to her and you want her to be approved by the bank. The contract to sell this house to her, do you have it?
Excuse me?
The contract
Yes.
that you two signed to sell the house. At some point, you decide you want to buy the house. So did her credit get cleaned up?
Yes. We paid.
Okay. All right. And then now, so you move into this house.
Yes.
That you're planning to buy with
Yes.
your mother.
Yes.
Okay. Would you agree that that's a little unusual?
This is what happened. She said she wanted the house. And I said, well, okay, we'll work something out. The house was empty at the time. I have a combination lock.
How did she get in?
I have a combination lockbox on the side of the home.
Did you give her the combo?
Her ex was doing work for me. Gave her the combo.
Are you suggesting that she moved in without your permission?
She just moved in. But I didn't argue because she said she wanted to buy the house. She just moved in.
You don't think that's unusual?
Yes.
To not call the police, say, get out, you're trespassing? Right, because it sounds unbelievable. Unless you really want to push a sale of this house in a way that just doesn't make any sense. It's just unusual.
She moved in, and I said, we'll work it out. And I asked her for security or rent, and she said, no. My dad kept my security or something or whatever, but
I'm sorry. So you're a real estate broker, and a person moves into a house I have signed you up to sell. My house. They move into my house, and you don't know what to do when they move in behind your back.
No,
is that what you're saying?
No. She indicated that she wanted to buy it. So when she did move in without my permission.
That doesn't seem unusual to you, that you not say, what are you doing, squatter? Get out of that place. You can't live there until we sign something. That doesn't sound unusual to you.
Well, it does. But
okay. And then after she moves in, okay, which of course you say is with his permission and consent, and he says it's all a big surprise to him. After you move in, then you sign a contract for the purchase of the place. And then what happens?
Then he has me move in the house, and he tells me that I'm going to save my money, that I'm going to save $4,000 to be able to put down as my closing costs. And
when did you hand him $4,000?
In November. My mom passed on the 2nd of November.
Of November, I'm sorry to hear that.
And he sent me a text on the 6th. I have the text still that said to go to the bank and get the $4,000 so that they can go ahead and close on the house before the bank found out that my mom passed away.
Which sounded just peachy keen to you.
Huh?
That's exactly what you did.
No, and then also it was, don't tell them that my mom had passed. And then I'm talking to the guy.
What difference does it make if the mom passed?
Well, she is a payee for the mom. And she gets her income based on, I believe she does home aid.
Oh, so now she has no job.
Correct.
So you told her not to tell the bank that?
No, I told the bank that. I just told her, let me handle the bank and we'll go from there.
And did he, according to you, he did tell the bank that?
He told the bank after.
After what?
After the guy had started asking more questions about it, because he had talked to me, the guy did, and I was like, well, my mom is not here. And then he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, oh, you need to call Ray. And then that's when Ray told him, because Ray had told me, you won't be able to get the house if they know your mom passed away.
Well, it isn't because your mom passed away. It's because you have no job then.
Right.
Why would you get financing? And this is a financing contingent contract, right? She has to get financing in order to have to buy the house, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And what happens? Here's a surprise. Something worked the way it's supposed to work, which is you got denied.
Oh, no, I got denied after I told the guy.
Yeah, that you had no job.
No,
you should be denied.
I do have a job, dear.
Oh, dear. Okay, what is the job that you had? That's all right. That's all right. Go ahead. What is the job that you had? I thought your job was to be caretaker for your mom.
I took care of my mom, and I take care of several other people. Also, I'm a matron.
So now you are suing to get back $4,000 that you paid. She paid $4,000, right?
Yes, she did.
Right. So you are suing to get back the $4,000 deposit because you were not approved.
Right.
Okay. And you don't want to give it back because what?
I told her, well, you need to pay for the rent that we're...
And when did she ever agree to pay for rent? Show me the rental contract.
We do not have a rental contract.
Did she, but not only that, you do not even have a verbal rental contract. Like,
Yes.
she never agreed to pay for rent.
Yes, we do. We had a conversation when I asked her about where did she get her security deposit from, and she said she left it with her dad. And I said, well, it didn't sound right, but I just left it alone. But I then had a conversation where I told her, I said, this place rents for $11.25, but if you can work it out where you can make it to $800 where you were because you said you wanted to buy the house, I'll accept the $800. It was
So you had a rental agreement with her?
Verbally, yes.
You are such a liar.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Is it possible that the plaintiff actually didn't know that it's a crime to file a false police report?
No, everyone knows it's a crime.
Does everybody know that?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, that's not realistic, to be honest.
So so the plaintiff then becomes part of the crime if the plaintiff knew it.
Correct.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
You don't even know how to season the lie so that I can swallow it.
Well, how else can,
I'll tell you how else. What you are is a broker who wants to sell a house to a person who can't afford the house. So you're suing for the $4,000. You want $414 back that he made you pay in homeowner's insurance?
Yes.
Why?
Because, like the people at the insurance place was telling
And when
him,
was there ever an agreement that you'd get that money back if you didn't get approved for financing?
he said I would get the difference of it back because it was only $250 for me to put insurance in my name, but because we had to wait for the
Anybody want to prove
paperwork.
up any of the stuff coming out of their mouths? Any of the drivel coming out of your mouths that you both want me to believe? Because I wouldn't believe either of you if your tongues came notarized, okay? You're both crooks. All right, so now, do you want to prove what you just said, that you're supposed to get the home insurance back?
Well, I paid it, so.
I don't care that you paid it. I want to know if you can prove that someone's supposed to pay you back for it if you don't get
just on his
financing.
word,
Because
no.
you see, nobody here is planning on not getting financing. Everybody here thinks everything, well, what could go wrong? What? That's how everybody's talking about this. So I don't think either one of you are planners. I think both of you look at the problem today and you say whatever it takes to solve the problem today, and then you get to tomorrow, okay? So you don't have any proof that shows that you're supposed to get home insurance back. Let's go to the next thing you're suing for, which is just added today. Just in, $200 for your mom's wheelchair, $100 for oxygen mask, $100 for a bike, $100 for 3 dresser drawers. Why do you leave your mom's wheelchair, the oxygen mask, a bike, and 3 dresser drawers behind?
I left a lot more stuff
Why?
behind. Because I couldn't take it all at one
Why?
time. Because, first of all, I didn't have my truck. The guy moving in was paying for the truck. And then I gave him my money.
Did she leave a wheelchair, an oxygen mask, a bike, and 3 dresser drawers behind?
I don't know. I didn't go see.
Because did she ever notify you
No,
that
she
she was
did
leaving
not.
that
No,
stuff behind?
no.
Do you have any proof that you left the stuff behind?
No.
Unless you have proof that he kept your stuff and didn't safeguard it, unless you have proof that you're not going to be proof. Let me just tell you, because you've been doing this for 10 minutes now trying to speak up. I'm not going to consider your friend here proof. Unless you have proof, because you're texting with him. So do you ever say, hey, I'll be right back for this and that. I left it behind. I got to get it. Any proof at all that you...
No.
Right, exactly. Folks, here's what's going on, all right? You have a contract with her to purchase the house. You let many messy things happen beforehand in the hope that you can sell her the house.
Agreed.
Because really all you care about is her getting approved and you getting your commission. And whether she can make the payments or later, that's really going to be on her, so who cares? After that, you're done. You've gotten your commission. So you allow things to happen that shouldn't happen, like a purchaser sneaking in, according to you. That's so much worse than having a rental agreement. But then you look me in the eye like I'm an idiot and tell me that not only did she sneak in, but yeah, you had a rental agreement with her. Crazy. Really crazy. So no, what you have is the misfortune of having allowed somebody to move into a house you're trying to sell them, a deposit, because that's what's in writing, and a deposit you now have to return because that's what your contract says, which is if she doesn't get approved, there's a financing contingency. If she doesn't get approved, she gets her deposit back. So she gets back the $4,000. She doesn't get back all this other stuff she added today, and you do not get any rent from her because I don't see proof of a rental agreement. Okay? There's a way to handle this. It's not that what you did can't happen. It's that you got to learn how to do it right. If you want rent, there has to be an agreement between the two of you that if, in fact, she doesn't get financing, then X money will be towards rent. And that doesn't go in your pocket, that goes in the owner's pocket. None of which I'm sure was gonna happen. And not only that, I'm gonna have a word with the Rochester Police Department, the ones on this report, and I'm gonna let them have the tape of you admitting that you lied. So, verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000, and as for the defendant's counterclaim, 0.
All right, both sides, hold on, please.
Well, the plaintiff gets her $4,000 deposit back. Mr. Knight, I don't know. What are you thinking about right now?
Well, I'm glad it's over.
I'm not surprised at that. I think the judge thinks you made a lot of stupid mistakes, you know? And the judge didn't believe you either. Either one of you. Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
You must sign a few documents outside. All right, Ms. Parson.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, you get your deposit back,
Yes.
but nothing more.
Nope, that's fine with me.
And the judge didn't believe you either.
That's fine with me. She believed enough to where I got my money.
And that's what counts?
That's what counts. I got my money, honey.
All right.
Have a good one.
Harvey?
Well, Doug, this is serious stuff. The plaintiff could face prison time, actually, for filing a false police report. That is a felony. And that will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.